The first brown woman I loved was my mom, who taught me love as staying. In an empty marriage for over 30 years, my mom and dad went through the motions of family. She raised us while looking after my father's alcohol addiction. I have called my father by his nickname, Pepe, ever since I can remember. I do not call him my dad, except in explanations to others in the poems I write about him. During their heated arguments, where my mother berated him about his drinking, his lying, or his cheating, Pepe's eyes glazed over as he drank another can of Bud Light. He had long since excused himself from his own body, let alone fatherly responsibility. The court-ordered AA meetings don't work. The 12-step program doesn't come in a language Pepe understands. Besides, alcohol is one of the few coping mechanisms machismo will allow. And how many men would rather be seen as men than husbands and fathers anyways? I spent my teenage years running from home, while my family history follows me, showing up uninvited into every relationship I have. I learned what it means to love and what it means to be a brown man, the same way that someone learns to leave what is not working and make something new. You are star student, private school girl on scholarship, Chicana in gold hoops, tight French braids, crop tops, and short shorts. Pretty eyes that have seen too much. Red lipstick on a cock smile, but your curly hair smells sweet like coconut oil. Your skin is soft as cocoa butter. You are what my dreams are made of, who teaches me how to love. When we love, it is poetry and teenage curiosity, a mischievous grin covered in soft kisses. You are the only girl who understands my jokes, my rants, my dreams, my shadow, who isn't afraid to love me. And I have never felt this way before. The love and care I feel for you. You tell me that you've never had a boyfriend before, only situations. You are the type of girl who keeps guys waiting, but you drop them all for me. I become your first. Papi left when you were young, And mommy works every day, so she cannot be there for you when men break your spirit. You take your own job. Keep your heart close like pepper spray. Mi ama, she works every day. And my dad is not there to teach me how to be a man. But my softness, this blessing inside of me, teaches me how to love transcendently. How to break family curses. I cling to you and every after you because this is the only warmth I have ever known. When you leave, we are a picture of our former selves. A tangle of words left unsaid, with resentment boiling beneath the surface, like a family portrait, an inheritance. We have both betrayed each other by becoming a portrait of exactly what we never wanted to be. We do not know words, we were never given for forgiveness, but you learned to leave for the first time, and I know better than to follow after you. Love featuring Zacari, 2016. I still remember the first time I heard Love on the car radio. The windows rolled down our friend's SUV, blunt smoke refracting sun rays. Your head rested on my shoulder as you drifted into dreams. It was a road trip full of poems, fire pits, and weed. I could have died that night, 16. Our friends' laughter echoing through drywall, us high-fucking a room away. Your heat settled on my skin like the New Mexican sun. Zacari sang to us about love. A light on in my head that burns even when I sleep. I drift out of consciousness, and if I stop my thinking for long enough, I can still see it. If I linger a while longer, I can feel the heat like summer dusk kissing my skin. I no longer live longing like a moth for the glow of fire that passed between us. But damned if it doesn't make me smile. Damned if our joy doesn't light my way when I recall harder times. Isn't that what love is all about? Even if it doesn't last. Love never really dies. Our love was cosmic. Your last letter to me, a hand-traced rendition of Descasli Boca, said that we felt ancient together. You had wrote that you had had a dream. You and me on a beach in San Francisco with him. You didn't know what it meant, but you knew I had always wanted to move to California and that he was the Aztec god of self-reflection. I knew how much you loved the sea. You had hoped that he could help me through whatever I was going through. You always spoke like that, simple but understanding, a contrast to the constant noise in my mind and need to comprehend. I remember our trip to San Francisco, where you held my hand at the edge of the Pacific and said, "I want you to meet my mother." The clouds parted and the ocean grew warm at our feet, as if to offer us her blessing. I thought of the oceans our parents, our ancestors had crossed for us to meet, how warmly they must have smiled down on us then. I think of the blessings our mothers gave us. Your mom, shuffling hurriedly around the house, uneasy with premonition. You asked, "¿Qué traes, mamá?" Y ella te contestó con su intuición materna, "Tú y Mateo se van a casar." I think of my mom giving us a ride back to your house, where she joked we might adopt children and give them a good home if you really didn't want to bear them. And in this quiet way, I knew that she liked you too. So if our love was cosmic, and I do believe that it was, then our break was all the more earth-shattering. I have struggled to write this poem, this epic, for the past year since. It was never easy for me to write a love poem for you, as I am a perfectionist at heart. So I wrote you so many, it pains me. You may never get to see them. To string together our love into a coherent composition would have been to imply that our love was anything but timeless. It was a crisscrossing of lifetimes I could never contain. Truth be told, I never thought that we would end, so I never thought to write one. Part of me still doesn't believe we have. As we used to say, time doesn't exist. But as indignant as I am only human, and the grief I have felt for your loss has been one of the greatest wonders of my world, and demands I approximate the feeling nonetheless. So, we were two astronauts, flying too close to the sun. And wasn't it so warm? You made my heart leap. I would have boiled just to be close to you. We paid no attention to the warning signs, this radioactive heat, threatening to poison us, destroy us if we flew too close. I had never felt a touch light and pure as yours. Past loves have heavy hands, left me sun-seared. If it were up to me, I would have held on until our future became stardust. We were two astronauts headed straight into oblivion, a place you knew we couldn't come back from. Thank you for leaving before we burned out, before there was nothing left to come back for. The day you left me, a chain broke between us. You bounded one way, I the other, us two astronauts cut from the shuttle. You said, "I love you and want to keep loving you, time and place willing. But we can't do this right now, the way we both are. For as beautiful as our love was, and even if you return, we will never be the same. We can't be. And this, I know now, is for the best." With me, the universe gave me a white rose. I was performing on the ballroom floor of the Mercury Cafe, the place where magic happens, where we had our first date. That first day, a red rose sat in a glass vase. She saw the way I looked at you. My lips pressed the brim of a cold glass of water. I was as nervous as the shaky table we were sitting at. The red rose laughed when I almost knocked her over. She saw red blossom in our cheeks and watched our love bloom. Just downstairs, the place where we had our first kiss, right there in the atrium on Slam Sunday, swing dance beating like my heart did. The cafe where we thought of someday getting married, time and place willing. That cold, rainy night, I came to perform without you for a change. Dozens of white roses perched in their small vases. This time, the roses sat grim and unmoving. They didn't feel like playing and weren't laughing along to our jokes anymore. I was a mischievous grin and adventurous intentions, ready to leave the slam with a friend, when something inside me thought to take a flower. I plucked 2 of her petals and fate had her way. My friend pointed out to me that this was an obvious reference to La Rosa de Guadalupe. If you know what that is, then you know. I would like to think this was her way of letting me down easy, of saying, you did your best, and really all that you can do, and now it is time to let her go. I'm trying to be as graceful as you are with lessons. You deserve nothing but the best, and the love I have for you is pure. You still make me feel like a room full of jazz music and swing. I wish we would have went on that date, like nights full of poetry and lessons. You make me smiles and smiles of hanging Christmas lights. I am convinced you will always have my heart. I am hoping we will still happen again, time and place willing. P.S. For a second, I thought to grab a flower for you too. I think there are lessons we cannot teach each other. Amor Eterno. There is a concert hall in my chest I carved from loss. But the mariachi bands have long since played their last note here, and my friends have stopped visiting to hear the music. But sometimes I still sit upon the balcony, hum a lonely tune, and remember fond memories. What if is a grave I used to visit often, my seance for a death I couldn't accept. I brought flowers to pick for you and left petals as meager indulgences for fate, begged her to change her mind. Nowadays, I leave bouquets to dry in the sun. I do not sit with bated breath. I exhale and let the wind take what it must. On the hard days, loss fills my ribcage like the bass of a Spanish guitarra. Desperation claws at me inside like the sharpest note in a string of violins. There are so many shades to unravel in this grief. There is a certain allure to this honest pain, a certain respect I have developed for its presence, the way it keeps me up at night with its wailing, demanding that I listen to all of the sad songs you shared together. I practice this ritual every fortnight or so, in the tradition of great Mexican artists who brought stadiums to tears with their unbearable loss, or Frida, who couldn't stop painting her own face. That 17-year-old boy whose lips you kissed for the last time on a beautiful cold day in April still sits on the corner of my bed sometimes and cries. I feel the breeze between barren tree limbs, the time between cool string lights and a fevered sun before the leaves can sprout again and know his tears are coming. I, 2 years his senior, have learned to be a better brother. I sit beside him, shed of my expectations, and let him mourn and mourn what he must. I let him do this every time a song comes on that hits just the right note. Each time the sunlight falls between the branches in a familiar way. Every time someone tilts their head in scornful misunderstanding of both their grief and mine. Bless this grief, which taught me resiliency. Thank this grief, which taught me that I could survive without you present. Holy be this grief, which taught me how to love others in absence. Amen. I'd like to imagine that Juan Gabriel is still up there somewhere, playing his songs for spirits forever unresolved, and for lonely boys like me, whose eyes fog up at sunsets, whose eyes stay hooked to crescent moons. To remember softness only after I have lost it. After the music has gone quiet and the night swallows my shadow, I sit back and reflect on our time together. Your room was a place of worship I dwelt in for days, an altar of elaborate tapestries, Polaroids from past lives and reverential veladoras. I miss the shapes we make as our shadows played together in candlelight, the beautiful times we shared, the lazy mornings after when I'd wake beside you. My hands traced the tattoos on your body as I learned everywhere your soul had been. I bit the unmarked flesh and you told me who you were becoming. From your bed, I watched you get ready before your long shift at the cafe, adoring your grind and confidence. You sifted through the labyrinth of your closet as I admired the handiwork of your tasteful eye, which always chose the perfect adornment. I watched how carefully you held your brush in the mirror, stippling the corners of your eyes with the colors of marigolds and sunsets. I left you one frigid morning in January after coming over from the dentist. The Dominican lady cleaning my teeth had cut my gums one too many times and rubbed salt water into the tender flesh as if she were brining the painful words I would bring you. Would you believe me if I said that it hurt me just as much as it hurt you? You were in shock. You didn't see it coming. How could you know a fear I had never spoken aloud? A jade that colored my every love. You were a generous lover to me when I didn't believe in love anymore. You fed me blood orange slices and pomegranate seeds from the inside of your hand and held your heart out to me in the other. I am sorry I could not part with my own then, for leaving with too many words left unsaid. My heart still remembers all of the sweetness you offered me, the gifts I am now breaking open to receive. But you are so luminescent that the grapevine brings me the news. And I sit and I listen and I am tipsy with curiosity. I have heard that my name still finds its way to your lips. When it meets your tongue, does it taste bitter or sweet? Maybe both, like an overripe love. You still wear the earrings I sent to make for you, but you still can't speak to me. Words are funny and fickle that way, but poetry and prayer are my only means to transcend the distance, the only languages spoken between ex-lovers. For whatever it's worth, I am proud of the life that you have made for yourself. I am not angry at you for protecting your heart, though I hope one day you may come around to hearing mine again. Part of me wishes I could have been there for your becoming, but I know I had to become myself too before I could be open to loving someone again. So, I hold no regrets. Though our young love didn't last the winter, what a life we shared in a single season. You were a fireplace in a frost-bitten autumn. The sweet oat milk in my coffee. You kept me safe and warm through snowfall, and for your sincere love, I will forever be grateful. Our love was a light tower pointing me towards what I desired most within me, and I am closer to myself for having known you, Girasol Preciosa. Thank you. Returning home after Good Grief by Mateo Manuel. Let your heart break so your spirit does not. This January, I flew back from New York, my heart once again hanging from my mouth, for another star-crossed love I knew could never last. A love that changed me, a love that I still don't have the words to explain. I visit my mom in her new apartment. It has been 3 years since the divorce, which was as messy and imperfect as healing often is, but no less a miracle. She asks me how I like her new place. The new apartment is smaller than our house was, on the other side of town from my own. The first time I visit, the walls are dingy, and we laugh about the light switches stripped bare so we can paint the walls bright white. But at least this place is her own. I sit at her kitchen table. She serves me a guisado and a side of Spanish rice, like we never left home. I tell her that I don't regret loving you, even if I had to leave. And I know this time, I will be okay. Trying to comfort me, she asks me why I don't just go on Facebook Match and get a new girlfriend to distract myself. My mom is a Leo. My mom's hair is longer than I've ever seen it in my life. I have never seen her energy so light. She tells me about her new boyfriend, her adventures on Facebook dating. I see a fire in her eyes from when she was my age, 22. She searches for a passion my father could never give her. She tells me she doesn't know why it took so long to leave him, but that loving him felt like a sickness. I nod in understanding. I do not tell her that I know what she means. She tells me she regrets that she never left him sooner. I tell her it is never too late to start again. I have spent years mending my broken heart to find my way back to my spirit, which is to say, I will let you go so I can set us both free. I sit across from my mom with a compassion I have grown into. Now a boy who has become a man. I have found in this journey that this trauma, this oppression is bigger than us. And what is this pain, this healing, this knowledge, this joy, this work worth, if not for love?